Now, Cameron Ciraldo was defiant post-game after the Bulldogs bounced out of the finals in straight sets.
When you reflect, what did you learn? Like, would you have changed anything? Or what did you learn from the past, three or so months?
No, I wouldn't change a thing. This is all part of the journey. There's been some tough times this year. Our guys have had to deal with a lot more scrutiny than probably some other places, and sort of know what the headlines will be. But internally, we're really clear on how this season panned out, what was good, what we need to do better. Yeah, we don't need no vindication or validation on what we're doing. We know what we're doing. I'm really confident in what we're doing. But for Lockie to go out there today and attack the game the way he did, I thought he was in one of our top players out there. I thought Bailey Hayward was one of our top players out there when he got on the field. For those two guys in particular to come out and play will be two of our best on the big stage under the most pressure says a lot about their character in terms of how much crap they had to deal with this week and external opinions. Like those two guys are tough characters. They're going to play a massive part in our future.
No matter what you think of it, it's been the biggest story of the year. This year has been the Bulldogs and their changing of the guard, you could say. Lachlan Galvin coming in mid-season. They were coming first and then they are out of the competition and gone in straight sets. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get straight into it. And I'll come to you, Buzz, because you were the man that wrote this for Monday, Buzz, and you've been quite outspoken about this throughout the whole...
I was a bit disappointed in Cameron's press conference yesterday when he spoke about the crap that's been in the media, the commentary around all the changes he's made and the unsettling effect it's had on his football side. And absolutely no self-reflection, absolutely no respect for anyone who has even challenged him on. You go through it all. Sexton was the first to be dropped. Then Galvin came into the side. Then Marnie got dropped. And then Bailey Hayward got dropped. You know what happened yesterday? Sexton came back into the side. Galvin moved to 5'8", where we all know he was best suited.
But Steve Crichton was out, Buzz. I mean, that was why the changes took place.
What do you mean? What about Reid Marnie coming back?
Yeah,
Reid Marnie was sacked and then Reid Marnie was bring back.
Yeah.
What I want to compare it to is a settled side like Cronulla, who have had Blake Brayley up front, they've had Hines, they've had Trindle, they've had Kennedy out the back. They've been so settled and they're still alive in this competition, right? He made too many changes. The players were confused. They lacked cohesion. Their defence even fell apart yesterday.
It's hard to argue that it hasn't had an impact on the club and their team, the way they were tracking. I know that you were going to argue, and you can argue all you like, but from my opinion, just looking at it and, even watching yesterday, you're kind of confused, and you don't. Like, they made so many changes and went in so many different directions.
But what would you have had them do differently yesterday, can I ask?
Keep the side that had them.
Because Crichton was out, so the best option was to move Burton to the centres.
I'm not even talking about yesterday.
Galvin.
No, it's not
I'm not even
yesterday.
talking about yesterday.
Yeah, you guys keep going back to mid-year, right?
Round 19.
Can I say round 16? I looked at their draw today. For the first 16 rounds, they had 2 buys. They played 4 top 8 teams in hindsight. They had a soft draw.
Why didn't they? So now you're saying that they're soft.
No, I'm saying they had a soft draw.
Yeah, right.
So they were false leaders at that point because they had a soft draw.
False leaders?
Yeah,
You weren't
false
saying that
leaders.
at the time.
Well, if you remember, I said they couldn't win the comp.
Reedy, I've got to give you...
I said that all year, Braith, all year. I said they couldn't win the comp.
You got something right this
and
year.
they need to make they need to make changes. And
Reedy,
I think we saw yesterday
you reckon that draw
why
was soft.
those changes were
You
made.
reckon that draw was soft.
Well, I can take you through that
Let me take you through this. The last 6 weeks, they won 1 game out of 6. 1 game. You know that was against? A reserve grade Penrith side without 16 players, right?
Yep.
So all these changes he made did not work. There is the proof, OK? I don't need any other statistical
So, Reedy,
information.
are you saying that because they didn't think they could win, or you didn't think they could win the comp, you're OK with what's happening?
Yes, because I think in the long run they're going to be a better team as a result of the changes they made.
Do you think they thought that?
I think they thought they couldn't win the comp, and that's why they brought Lachlan Galvin in. Yes.
So what happens
it's pretty clear, don't you?
This is just my opinion, and I'm happy for them to prove me wrong. When you said that the halfback's not good enough, you tell all the other players that you're not good enough to win the comp. So if I'm there and I'm a back row and I'm Preston and I'm on kick out and I'm Stephen Crichton and I've got to bring in an 18-year-old kid, right, that's wet behind the ears to win the competition, I'm embarrassed because they were on top of the table. And you can say it's soft. You can only beat who you play against. And I thought that. And in hindsight, if they're honest, don't blame me. I wouldn't have made that decision, and they shouldn't have made that decision.
I think that's why like ex-players can speak to this situation better. And I'm not saying that you guys don't have valid points and opinions, but as ex-players, and you talk to a lot of ex-players about this current situation, I said it at the time. It's not so much the decision you're making, it's the impact it's going to have on the team and your teammates going through what a few of them had to go through. And they played it down and said that the team was happy the whole time, the teammates were on board. Well, of course you're on board. You listen to your coach. You believe in your coach and you do all year. But, you know, bubbling underneath the surface, there's a bit of uncertainty. And it's like, do they not think we can win the comp with the group we've got? We're coming first. Do they not think that this guy and he can do the job that needs to be done?
Reid Marnie, we interviewed him on Triple M. Yeah. How emotional he was and cried about when he got to the place to when he left the place. That's the guy. So now, if I'm sitting, you know, you talk about people when you sit in the dressing room. I would like to have played with a guy and you go, oh yeah, he gives away penalties, but he gives away our penalties. Because he got in front of guys. He was trying to make things happen yesterday. So they're the things that I see.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. But he was trying to win a comp. That's why he made the change.
But do you think
that's
he'd be
why I'm
second-guessing
calling it
himself?
out now, Reedy. That's why I waited until now to say he was wrong. And I'll ask you this. I'll ask you one more question. Did he err in playing Lachlan Galvin at halfback and ask him to run that football side rather than at 5'8", where we all knew he was much more comfortable, as was shown yesterday afternoon at Core Stadium?
Well, he played 5'8" yesterday and they got flogged.
Okay.
Flogged.
No, but
Toby Sexton
he had his best
quiet
game. He had his best game.
Lachlan Galvin was their best player with Jacob Preston.
Well, maybe
that's what I mean.
It didn't help him.
You know, and you can't admit it, he should not have been picked at halfback to run that side.
Well, at the time, it was their best option.
Reedy, their attack, when they were coming first, they were fifth in the comp.
I just told you their draw, Braith.
They were 15th.
I just told you their draw.
They were 15th in attack.
I'll take you through who they played, mate. Do you want me to take you through who they played?
You'll put me to sleep, really, as you normally do. But so you think he was 100% confident with the decisions he's made? He's happy with the ones he's made. He's got no regrets whatsoever.
He doesn't sound to me as though he's a guy who's got
regrets about his
decisions
because going there yesterday was one of the greatest days, and you wish that the Bulldogs fans would have won. Like, it was a special day to see the crowd rock in, and if they won, like next week, it would have been bigger, right?
They missed 42 tackles at half time.
Yep.
42. Would they have missed 42 tackles when they were coming first?
Well, Braith, I'm not Nostradamus, so I can't tell you. But as I said, there were periods this year when they were coming first. They got flogged a couple of times when they were coming first.
Yeah, but Reedy, can you not understand the confusion in that football side when Marnie's in 1 week, 3 weeks on the bench, sacked, Bailey Haywood has 3 weeks, sacked,
I just told you why that happened. I just told you why that happened.
Well, look, I'm sorry. I didn't listen all that carefully. Well, you didn't,
because
mate,
Steve
you're
Crichton
not
was
making
out.
a lot of sense.
They made the change because Steve Crichton was out. So Burton moved to the centres.
No, but hold on.
That meant a change
they
to
don't
their
change
halves.
hookers when you lose a centre. Now, don't go on with that rubbish. You don't change hookers when the centre pulls out.
Well, they did. You were calling for Reid Marnie to be in the team. Now you're saying they shouldn't have brought Reid Marnie in because it confused everyone.
No, see,
I'm confused by you.
No, you're making this up now.
No,
I
you
suggested
said
at the start of the year that Reid Marnie, right, needed to get the rubbish out of his game. He did. He should have stayed in the football side. He's extremely popular with the players. You know he is. Yeah. And Bailey Haywood, the week before, your hooker missed 13 tackles.
Okay, so they brought him back in.
Got dropped.
So he brought him back into hooker.
Yeah,
and now you're criticising them. You're saying they're confused.
No, but you're both missing the point here. It's just so much of change and so much... No matter who plays where, no one knows who's playing where, and everyone's changing. Look at their edges yesterday, Reedy. Look at their defensive reads on the edges. Look, they had no idea. They were not working as a unit. 42 missed tackles means that you are not playing as a team. And you're not playing as a team because the team has changed so much over a long period of time that you actually end up losing belief and trust in each other because you don't know who you're playing next to. Like, how could you sit here and say that those big, significant decisions of a team coming first with a chance to win a competition, whether you think they could have or not, has not led to a team now that was losing 36 points to 8 at half-time in a final?
I think what we saw yesterday was...
It's their spine, Reedy.
What about their spine?
Well, it's their spine, the most key... the 4 key positions on the football field.
You wanted Sexton back in that team. You wanted Marnie back in that team. How'd they play yesterday?
We were
Do you
going-
think,
the team
going-
play
do you think
yesterday?
their confidence might have been shattered in the manner in which they were treated in round 19 than
There wasn't
round
one
23?
dog. Maybe Preston was the best dog.
Preston and Galvin were the two
They
best
were
Bulldogs
yesterday.
players.
They were. You know
Yesterday.
what? They looked tired
Hey, Reedy,
and relieved that the year's
Reedy,
over.
you know
That's what
that
they look like to
decision?
me.
Do you think the Daly Cherry Evans decision hurt Manly?
I've said on here it did, yes.
Yeah, okay, so the Galvin decision hurt the Bulldogs. Just stay consistent.
Okay.
Okay, so what happens now with the Dogs? What happens now? Well, moving on to next year, what do they do?
They need some big forwards, Braith.
Big
They
forwards,
need to
yeah.
strengthen
I
the
agree with
middle of the field because they got steamrolled at times this year. So they obviously
Leo Thompson.
Leo
Thompson
Thompson's
coming,
coming.
yeah.
They need more than Leo Thompson for
Yeah,
me.
okay.
Man, I thought King tried hard yesterday. He was just a bit small. But Penrith have done that to a lot of sides.
I think Mitch Woods comes in at halfback.
So you're going to play Mitch Woods at half?
Galvin plays 6.
Yeah.
Burton goes to the centres.
Who's the other
and
centre?
Shuffle it
Crichton?
around. Well, Crichton.
What happens
unless
to-
Crichton plays fullback, because
Well, you think that's a chance?
I think I think it has to be a chance.
So
Don't you? I think it has to be a chance because I think Connor Tracy, as good as he is, and he's a really
You think he
solid
might be
first
the fall
grader,
guy?
I think Steve Crichton's elite. And the more you can get the ball
So
in his
you
hands,
think-
Do
the
you
better
think,
are.
Reedy, and I know you're particularly tight with Cameron, the Bulldogs, the way you're speaking,
I'm not tight with them at all.
did they err in letting Alamotti go to Penrith? Local junior, Milpera. No, what do you mean? Come on, local junior, Milpera Cole.
Where's he getting that team on the wing, or where you got him?
I think
I don't
he
know, he
walks
scored
into
three
the, he
yesterday.
walks into
He would have
the
walked
side.
onto the wing yesterday.
I would have
He was walking
I
on
would have
both
scored
wings.
3 tries in the wing for Penrith yesterday.
Oh, quite of the year.
Reedy.
Quite of the year.
Reedy. I'm not sure about that.
He's a good player. I'm not denying that. But at the time, he was.
So you would have
He
scored
was
that,
battling
Reedy?
the Dogs, and he's gone
So
to
Reedy,
Penrith.
so you would have scored that try?
No, that one I probably would have.
Okay.
The other big thing about Canterbury yesterday, with all these changes, excuse me, they put Matt Burton in a position where he can't use that booming boot. And Galvin did all the kicking yesterday, and with Burton, he was hurt at training last Thursday night. He did his AC in his shoulder. He went into the game with painkilling injections. But, mate,
Burton's kicked at centre this year. Burton's played in the
And
centre.
he kicked the start of the game. He was doing a lot of the long kicks.
He can kick the ball in the
But then
centres.
Galvin, I think, was feeling it, and he
Yeah.
was in a bit of a mood yesterday. Was playing some good footy, so he took over, which I thought was good.